I love you.
Welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
I'm Papa.
I'm Val.
I'm Jim.
And today is sometime in August. And
today, I believe, is
and
the
it is a Saturday.
12th. Today is Saturday, August 12th.
Okay, so it's August. And
Sometime
it's still very hot. And
hey,
we're
somewhere
still
in the 10-day forecast, there are 3 days where the temperature is forecast to be 99.
Okay, so I'm wearing something and I'm gonna wear it for a minute and talk about it, and then it's gonna come off. We're gonna pause, and then I'm gonna put something else on and talk about it, and then we're gonna get rid of that because it's too hot to be wearing heavyweight sweaters, and these are heavyweight. However, I'm ready for run back for warm. If it's cold, I got it covered. If it's hot, I still have a few things up my sleeve. So
besides your arm.
Anyway, I did not make it all the way because I didn't have enough yarn, and I may go cut in and add it. I don't know. But I had finished this previously, but it was really short. And so I cut in and I added an additional 2 inches to the sweater, and I'm much happier with it. Do you still like it?
I do.
The yarn is, up here, the yarn is Barnyard Knits in the colorway African Violets. African Violets have a very special place in my heart. Very, very special place in my heart because my Grandma Gill used to raise African violets in her home, and she was really good. Well, she had flowers outside too, but inside were the African violets. And then the green on the sleeves, it's only on the sleeves. This green is from TedKnits UK, and I want to say moss, but maybe not. I can't remember for sure, but it's his green. And then down at the bottom, I'm showing you the inside because that's the outside, but it's a little, I fade into the purple. And the purple was, I think it wasn't dyed by me.
Is that a big deal?
But maybe not. Huh?
Is that a big deal?
No, it is not a big deal.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So anyway, the pattern is the Color Play Pullover, and the designer is Beth MacDonald Stone. It's the second pattern I've made by her. The first one I made by her was the Falling Leaves, and I like both. I do feel that the Falling Leaves for me is way more comfortable. I don't like this neckline because it's just a little too close to my Adam's apple. This thing. I don't know if I...
You don't have an Adam's apple because you're a girl.
Well, I would have one if I was a guy. It's going right into my throat, whatever you call this part of your throat. It's not comfortable. Anyway, but it's warm and it's cute, and I'm going to keep it and I will wear it, but I would not put it in the top of my sweaters. However, I think Jim likes how it looks on me.
It looks very nice on you, Bubba.
So we're gonna pause for a moment and we'll have a costume change. Okay, we're back.
Technical difficulties.
And this is the Lento, and I can't remember the designer, but I will have it in the show notes below. I first learned about the Lento from the Crea podcast, Rebecca. I really like her podcast, but she likes knitting sweaters as much as I like knitting sweaters, so it's kind of nice. Anyway, and she did a knit along, but at the time, I couldn't find any yarn in my stash that would even kind of work. And then, in going through my stash, not this last time, but the time before, I realized that I had this worsted weight in black, and I knew that I had the mohair, and so it is now done. It's off the needles. I like the fit. This is how much of the worsted weight yarn I have left. And then this is how much mohair I have left. So there's enough mohair here that I could absolutely make a hat. Or maybe gloves. There's half of the ball is still left. So that's good. Not enough for a sweater, but that means that the whole Lento I use 1.5 skeins of mohair. And it also means that if you didn't make it cropped and you made it full length, 2 skeins of mohair should be sufficient. Modifications I made, I did knit this on a 10.5 in order to get gauge. I did get gauge, but I had to use a 10.5.
Was that bigger or smaller?
Bigger, just by one size, but bigger. I think the original is in a 10. I'm not certain, but I used a 10.5. And then the sleeve cuff and the ribbing up top and the ribbing down below, I used a US 9 just so that it would shrink in. And then I think of anything else. I followed the pattern on the top. I did not even look at the pattern for the sleeve because I have bigger arms up here, and I just feel like a sleeve that goes down and does a rapid decrease looks better on me. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I should, make it get smaller and smaller and smaller, but I feel like that makes this look even bigger. So I just leave it, and it's nice and loose and comfy. It's not restrictive. I don't feel having it like that.
I prefer to have it.
Yes,
like
I
that.
know, but you're not a girl either.
That is a very valid observation, baby. We've been married 20 years. I'm glad you know that.
This is, however, and the neckline, I wish that it was tighter. So I may add elastic at some point just to bring it in a little. I will only be wearing this when it's really damn cold. So I will take it with me to Rhinebeck if the weather is expected to be really damn cold. If it's supposed to be in the 60s and higher, this will not be going with me. And we'll be back. Okay, we're back. And thank you. This one's way more comfortable for this weather. So I finished the Lento and the color play pullover. I had it done, but I last Sunday cut the sweater, and when I was on the recreational knitter had a cast on party, and I did cast on a sweater, and I cut that sweater. I didn't start knitting on it, but I cut it, and then I also cut this sweater, which is the V Delicious crop, and it was just too cropped, and so I cut into it, and I have been in the past few days working on adding. You can see I've just barely started adding, but I'm hoping to add maybe 3 inches because I really want this one to be longer.
Yeah.
And it's super lightweight, and I have plenty of yarn, so I will just keep knitting on it. This pattern is by Beatrice Rubio, and the yarn I used is Holst Supersoft by Holst Garn, and the colorway is Sweet Pea. And I really like this color.
Sweet Pea, that's my nickname for my daughter. Sweet Pea.
Okay, and then
she's been texting us about yarn for our grands.
So the size is, just so you know, I typically will knit somewhere between a 48 and a 52, somewhere in wherever the pattern falls that's in that range as a general rule. If the pattern requires negative ease, then I will go ahead and go down to a 44 or 42 to the 44, because the 44 is exact size, but I'm not real comfortable with, I would prefer 2 to 4 inches at minimum, and I'm okay with going, I don't really want it to be 55, 56, because then I feel like it's a tent hanging on me, but I do like having some ease. He prefers when I wear or make things with 0 ease or negative ease, but that's just, he has that right to think that, and I have the right to not want to wear that.
I love you.
As a general rule. I do, while we're real quick, the cast on that I started.
Oh, the blue and gray.
It was
It's gone
using
away.
this yarn, and this is what's left of.
Oy.
I'll pick it up later. This is what is left of what was cast on. It's been ripped out already. It is not the pattern's fault in any way. The pattern is incredibly well written. I was trying to knit the Once in Floral by Maxim Sear. And the stretchiness in this yarn, like, I know you need to stretch out your stitches, which I did, but for some reason this stuff stretches out. You stretch it out, but the yarn is so crazy stretchy that it would then just go right back together. So the stitches, it was hiding everything. It was sucking it in.
But it will make really good socks because they won't fall down.
Yeah, it's definitely has some. There's no nylon in it either. This is just how the yarn is spun and the wool that's in it.
If you
But
got down there and use tiny needles and really get going on it, you could probably make compression socks out of it.
I don't know about that. But I do think this would make a good sweater if it was maybe like the Dustland or the Pierre. Except for they call for heavier weight yarn. These are fingering weight yarns. But I could still use a pattern, any pattern, and just add texture, and I think it'd be okay. Or just doing a plain vanilla shirt. I think it would be fine. So I might, because I do love this color of blue, and I have enough of this blue, I might just make a top with just this, with no color work, no
So it can't get
stripes,
buried.
no nothing, and nothing's getting buried, and then it's just a nice top that fits. But definitely, for me, not the good choice for color work. The yarn I was using is Quince & Co. Finch, and it is 100% wool, but it's just really tightly spun in a very springy yarn, and just did not care for it in my color work. So I ripped it out, and I have started it up again in Holst. However, I'm not knitting on it at the moment because I really want to make a gift sweater, and I want to make a gift sweater for someone in particular, and I want to make sure that I'm making something that they will wear. And so I'm really struggling where that's concerned. I do that to myself all the time. When I'm making something for someone else, if it doesn't come out the way I like, I just bail, and then I get frustrated and try and start over and try and start over and try and start over. But if I make it for me, I just make it. And if it comes out great, great. If it doesn't, it's still a sweater, I can still wear it. And I don't know why I have that struggle, but I definitely have that struggle. So do I have, I have one other. The other thing I'm working on right now is this one, which y'all may remember, may not. It's an Anker Tee. I cut this one I did not cut into. This one I clean ripped it back because I didn't like how it looked. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'll hold it up close and maybe you can. Down here, this is the blocked and it looks nice, and up here, this is not blocked. And what I'm doing, because I didn't like the length and I didn't like the fit exactly, so I went all the way back to just below the split for sleeves, and I increased a little because my back side is bigger than my front side, and that is a fact. And so I want this to fit so that it's not super tight and it'll go a little bit longer on me, because I want to wear this in the summer and I want to be able to wear it comfortably. And so I am now helical knitting between two yarns, and I'm hoping to just keep going. I normally stop around 10 or 11 inches underneath the arms because I am super short. But on this one, I'm going to try to go down to 12 or 14 if my yarn will let me do so. And then I'm going to come back and pick up this, or not pick up, take out the sleeves because I did an I-cord bind off. And I'm going to add to the sleeves. But I may not, because I don't mind showing my arms. I really don't care. If you don't like it, don't look. But I definitely wanted way more length, and so yeah, so I'm working on those, but they're just fixing old finishes. But that's all I have that I'm actively working on, is this one and this one, and that's a problem.
Unfortunately, the note that I made for you is on the computer, which is turned off. But I was supposed to save a note for you to tell them about a young lady that you like her podcast.
I found a new podcast to me. I cannot remember her name, and I'm super sorry. But I'm going to put it down below, so if you don't mind, please go give it a check and see if you...
I'll go find it. I'll be back, y'all.
Okay, and I'll talk about more. I really want to make sure that I mention, because I really did like her. It was super, super cute. So both of the projects I'm using right now are using the exact same size of yarn, and they're doing the exact same thing. So I'm gonna probably cast on this weekend in a larger needle, and I want to do something that's a tee for New York, and so, or something lightweight in case it's hot, because it could be in October, and it has been the last couple years, like really hot, like people aren't wearing any wool, and I like my wool in the summer. So I wound up my yarns from why can I not think of his name? Twisted. I'll put it here because I cannot think of it. I can see his face. Y'all, I am so bad with names. I am not a good podcaster because names, why are names so difficult? Anyway, love his color choices, love his yarn. And this yarn was a fundraiser, and it was a fundraiser for fighting suicide, standing up, helping prevent suicide, or suicide prevention. And since I am a survivor multiple times in my life, it's something that means a lot to me, so I was happy to support. And what a beautiful colorway. I mean, isn't that just gonna be so, so good? And so I wound these up, and I wound them up entirely because of, I was on a Zoom call today with the Zoomies from Flame and Fiber podcast, who I follow, and I host her Zoom every month. And one of the people that called in is Aquila, and she has her own podcast, a Lefty Knitter podcast, who I never, ever, ever miss. And we talk about her daughter Hayes quite frequently, because Hazel sent us a sign that says "Be kind." So anyway, Aquila showed her tank top that she finished this week, and she started and finished it this week, and it's super cute. And so I can't remember the name, but I will definitely put it here in this space. That's mostly for me to see, to say pause when and cover my arm up with the picture. It's easier to edit if you give yourself a signal. But it's such a cute tank top, and I've been wanting to make a tank top to wear in Austin, and I thought, what better way to do it than to use this glorious, glorious colorway. And so, planning on casting that on as something else to work on, and I'm hoping, because of the gauge I saw, it looks like it'll be a different size needle, which will make me very happy. And then the other thing I'm planning on, I haven't wound it up yet, but I have these yarns. This is Deep Stash. I don't know how many of you remember when Cloudborne Fibers was with Craftsy, or if you even remember when Craftsy had yarn. But I purchased this probably in 2010, and it's a beautiful brown, but I have this incredible yarn from Chelsea Lux. I love her yarns and her colors. And this was a I'm trying to think, so bear with me. It was a colorway from her beach or something. Anyway, I've had it for several years, and I just thought, how cool would a hat be made with this? So I'm gonna hold the mohair and the DK, and I'm thinking, because the mohair is so thin, I might even hold the mohair double with this. And I'm going to make a hat, and I'm going to make a hat either for me, but probably because of the weight, it may end up asking this to Knit the Rainbow. Or to my granddaughter, who knows. But I definitely think I want to make the hat. And I've already picked the pattern. I'm going to make the Hermes Aran hat. It's a pattern by Beatrice Rubio. If you haven't figured it out yet, I like her patterns. And I've made that hat before, and I loved every stitch, so definitely gonna do that. And then the last of my exciting news, or my whatever, in my project bag, I'm gonna put the name of the shop on Etsy, because I can't remember her name, but I bought this project bag from her. Pretty sure it's from her.
You still need those 2 notes there? Ladder back and
no,
your card?
I do not. It's already up on YouTube. Sorry. So, but in my Halloween bag, I have yarn that came in the mail from Trilogy Yarns, and Gary Knits, Gary Rides is doing a knit along. And this fall knit along is all kinds of accessories. So hats and mittens and cowls and gloves.
He just had a live show like earlier this
socks.
week, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Didn't Gary do a live show that we
watched? He did a live, yeah. And,
hey, Gary.
So, anyhow, one of the patterns uses these 2 colors and makes a cowl. If I live in Austin, and the odds of me wearing a cowl very often are like really slim, and I already own enough cowls that I do not need to make another cowl, although technically I own enough sweaters too, but I wear them, and he can tell you I wear my sweaters.
She wears a sweater every day. Sometimes she wears a sweater and a change of sweater, and then maybe a change of sweater. You just never know, because it's whatever sweater hits her mood, and sometimes her mood changes.
It does. But So
I cannot find that note, so I do not know the young lady's name.
It's okay. So I'll find it and I'll put it down below. But so the kit comes with one skein of each of these two skeins. One of each color, and the pattern makes two cowls. So you can make, and it's a color work, and so one of them has, this is the background and this in the front, and then there's enough yarn that you can make a second one where this is the background and this is the front. So if you inverse them, that there's enough yarn here to do two. However, I thought, what if I take this and I make it into a t-shirt and I put the color work here. So I keep this up top, and then when I get down to the bottom, I use the color work from the cowl to put it on the bottom of the sweater. So I'm using the pattern and I'm using the yarn, but I'm making what I want to make. Now,
That's
Gary may not...
pretty much normal, babies.
Gary may not let my modification fly in his knit along, but I figured this is my way of participating in something that I don't really want to make. Anyway, and he also has an option of making a sock, and I don't really like making socks, but I do like wearing them. But this one is a cabled sock, so there's a cable running all the way up the sock. And so I thought maybe I won't despise it, but I'm also worried that it will hurt my hands because it's back on the little tiny needles. So
I vote we don't do that, Bubby.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cast it on in September. If there's any pain, I'm not knitting it. But if it's no pain, then I'll continue to knit it. I figure that's a fair. We tried.
I sent this to my wife. I came across this on Facebook the other day, and my wife says this is crochet. So I want y'all to see that somebody spent a lot of time crocheting. That is a car, y'all, inside and outside. And when you want to talk about yarn bombing something, that was a yarn nuclear bomb. Kilotons, maybe megatons.
Can you hand me that bag?
I can.
Also, in my package from Trilogy Yarns, forgot to share, I got this, which if y'all haven't tried Tuft Woolen's lotions, the only thing I wish I could get a bigger one than these little ones. And so I think Tuft Woolen's is at Rhinebeck every year. And it's a farm. And so if they are, I will probably come home with a larger container.
But this particular one happens to be sandalwood.
It's actually called Mossy Woods, but it smells like sandalwood.
But I know what it smells like.
He doesn't hate it.
No. Well, my thing is, okay, this is an alternative to Vicks. If you happen to have somebody that might share a bed with you, and if you make that somebody laugh, that makes them fart. Yes. And if you would rather not smell farts, sandalwood. If it gets really bad, then it's going to wind up smelling like somebody shit on sandalwood. But it starts out sandalwood.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
All right.
My love.
So, I only have one more thing and then we'll be done. So, when we went to the office, I don't normally do paper patterns, y'all. I just don't. But we did not have a good experience with our color work sweater for the gift knit. And so I just wanted to show you that I am considering the Pierre pullover or the Dustland sweater. Those are by Stephen West. And also I'm thinking maybe Wind Whistles. And Wind Whistles is by Vincent and Max. They designed it together. And so it would still be one of theirs. And the best part of that one is it uses fingering held with a mohair. And I have plenty of fingering and plenty of mohair in the stash. And so I don't have to redo the math. So this kind of appeals to me for the gift, but I don't know that it appealed to the recipient. And then the Pierre pullover and the Dustland pullover, I feel like they really look, I mean, they might work, and they might work with the yarn that was already an approved yarn. So I don't know. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. Well, it's good to know that the struggle isn't fake.
Yeah, but that's it. I have not had the best knitting week.
We haven't had the best week, love.
No, we haven't.
Straight up and down, we haven't had the best week. Now, okay, I have not been to movies other than I went to a movie with my son Josh. We went and saw Oppenheimer. Excellent movie. I've done a lot of fact checking, and from what I can tell, they actually played so far as I'm not completely done, but as far as I can tell, they actually played fairly close to the facts on Oppenheimer. The people that they portrayed as being unsavory, well, turns out when you investigate those people for real, yes, they were. The people that they show as being all right, they were. So I'll give Oppenheimer credit for making solid choices in their presentation. But Josh and I went to the movie, and we enjoyed each other's company in the movie. And after the movie, I stopped at Walmart to get gas. And shortly after getting gas at Walmart, I got a call from what was identifying itself as my bank, saying that my credit card, which I had just used at the gas station, was being used, and this was their fraud prevention, calling me to verify that some transactions taking place in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And was I making these transactions? I was like, no. And okay, and what about, and we got cut off. So I tried calling fraud prevention, and they never answered. So I went on to my web app on my phone, and I froze the card. Well, apparently that wasn't good enough, because they called me back and said, we got disconnected, and they went on and on and on, and they actually knew my name, they knew my address, my physical address, they knew my email address, they knew my banking information. Turns out that these people had Navy Federal Credit Union, my bank, on another phone talking to another guy, and they were talking to the bank, and the bank was talking to them, and they were talking to me, and I was talking to them, and the bank would ask them a question, and they would ask me a question. I would answer their question, and they would answer the bank's question. Bottom line is, by the time we got done with this dance, and the whole time I'm saying, how do I know you're not the fraudster? Well, here's your code. Okay, and then before I could even tell it, he says, I just sent you a code. You should receive it any minute. Now read me that code. I'm a dumbass, because I did. And with that code, they managed to transfer all the money out of my checking and savings account to somebody else's checking and saving account, leaving me broke when I needed to pay my insurance and still had a whole month of bills and whatnot to take care of. And the fact that this guy had me on the phone and knew that I'm a disabled veteran, knew that my wife and I lived on a limited income, that didn't change their opinion one bit at all, as they ripped us off completely. Fortunately, it was just my account and not our account, because our account would have killed us dead. I had backup in my account so that if my baby doll ever lost her job, we had a month to not be homeless. Now we no longer have that backup. But turns out Navy Federal, because Navy Federal these people did not access my account. They didn't use my password. They didn't go online. They didn't hack anything. They talked to Navy Federal. So now Navy Federal is doing an investigation, and if it turns out that I don't know anybody at Navy Federal that could have possibly done this, and I'm not scamming Navy Federal, then Navy Federal should give me back my money. But Navy Federal's not going to give me back my money this week, and my insurance was due by the 28th, so fortunately I just sold a couple of my guns, so I had the money in cash, and I went and put the cash in the bank, and then I paid the insurance. But that's how the scam works, folks. They call you up after you use your credit card.
I don't even know that it was using the credit card. I mean, I know you feel it. I know that you feel like it. I think it was just random luck of the draw.
But see, the reason she says that is that was not our only unfortunate incident for the week. My sister bought me a foot massaging thing for my neuropathy, because my neuropathy is truly whooping on me. I have always had a very high threshold of pain. Very high, and neuropathy brings me to my knees. It is if my baby doll steps on my toe, it's an unfortunate incident that makes me cry. But if I stub my toe, I'd probably sit down on the floor and cry. It is bad. It is very bad. So my sister bought me this foot massager for neuropathy, and then said it showed up. Yay! And I go down to get it, and there's a key. And that's all that's in our mailbox, is a key to open the bigger mailbox, because apparently this box is bigger. So I take my key that goes to P40. I put it in P40. I open it up, and lo and behold, P40 is empty. I'm like, well, shit, that's not good. And I check my USPS informed delivery, which if you don't do that, you can sign up. It's free. And USPS informed delivery will tell you every piece of mail that is supposed to be in your mailbox. If it went through a scanner, it takes a picture of it. And they will send you a picture so you know that you have this mail coming. Well, guess what else was not in my mail?
Navy Federal.
Two things from Navy Federal Credit Union, and one thing from my insurance company. That would be my insurance bill, and I have no idea what was in Navy Federal. But what was also missing was my medication. So I've been doing without some meds, because whoever stole all my other stuff out of my mailbox and whoever stole my foot massager also stole my medicine. Because, there's lots of people out there whose mamas probably didn't raise them exactly the way you and I would have wanted them to be raised. Not saying their mama didn't raise them right. Just saying that maybe something could have been different.
Had nothing to do with their mama, because
yeah, it could be. It could be they are just
done all the right reason and don't do no good. But
yep.
Anyway,
so between the mailbox being ripped off and that could also be where they got access to the Navy Federal account, and it could have just been circumstantial timing that they called right after using a gas pump. But the fact that there's skimmers on gas pumps, and you got to be real careful.
Yeah, but those they don't. That's the thing. If they have the machine on the gas pump and they get your card, they don't have to call you or anything. They just use that card everywhere until your account is gone.
Yep.
But in order to get money from your account transferred to somewhere else, that's totally different, and they wouldn't need your debit card number. And so I don't think they're even related, but it's just really, really bad timing and bad situation. The one thing I can't express more in a warning is, number one, if anybody calls you from any organization, bank, AT&T, Verizon, your electric company, your any company that you deal with, if you get a call from them, thank them for calling, hang up, and call back
and
to the number that you know, or go online to Google to find their number and call that number. Don't call the number that shows up on your caller ID, because you're calling back what could be a fraudster.
And I would go one deeper, because now they have people that are using an app to record your voice. So when you talk to them, they record your voice, and then they use your voice to authorize all kinds of stuff because it's your voice. So better than one more up on what Valerie just said is, when you get a call and they say, this is Navy Federal Credit Union fraud prevention, hang up and call Navy Federal fraud prevention.
Call the bank and try to get to the fraud department.
Yeah.
But
don't just take the call.
Don't give any information out
and
to
don't,
anybody.
And if they ask, can you hear me? Do not say yes, because they are wanting you to say yes, because that yes opens the door for them to go yes on all the things.
Else. But you can say, I can hear you. If you say, I can hear you, to the question, can you hear me? They're going to go, no, but can you hear me? Like, I can hear you. And if they don't get your yes, they will hang up, because that whole purpose of that is to try to do identity fraud on you by using your voice. But anyway, it's just a, hey, be careful out there. We got really lucky when it first happened. I thought it was our main account, which is how we pay our rent and our electric and most of our groceries. And I don't make enough to refill the savings. That if our savings and checking had been depleted, we would have had a really difficult time paying rent, and a really difficult time having groceries. It just would not, that would have hurt. It would have been, we would have been really at risk for being on the verge of homeless. And that was really scary to me. But I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm just incredibly grateful that it was the account that it was.
Now, so if anybody hangs up and leaves before or after this point, this is from Hazel. Be kind. Everybody be kind. Can't argue with the kid. I got to see Hazel today. This was the first time Hazel probably ever seen me.
Probably.
But I've seen Hazel a few times. But I got to introduce myself to Hazel, and she's a very sweet little girl. So, hey, Hazel. Now, this is Valerie needs to mention some people for the fall knit along.
I don't need to mention them. I just, you can. But so far, we do have some people who have signed up for the fall cow. I have set aside 3 skeins of yarn. That's a sweater's quantity for a winter. So that's exciting. And
so far, nobody has said that they want to do a tea time with Nana and Papa.
Yeah,
so
no tea times with Nana and Papa at this moment, which is fine.
If you want to, tell us and we will schedule it. If you don't want to,
that's okay.
That's okay.
And then so I have 6 people so far, which is fine. That's actually a really good group. But if you are wanting to join us, you don't have to come to the Zooms to participate in the cow. You know what? No, I'm not gonna. Yes, you do. You need to come to the Zooms. The Zooms are absolutely free. I'm not charging anybody anything for this. So, but if you do want to participate in the cow, you do need to come to the Zooms. In order to come to the Zooms, you do need to have either the fingering weight version of the sweater or the DK weight version of the sweater. The DK version is the Vibes tee, and the fingering weight is the Vibes Tee, and the DK weight is the Stripes of Joy, both by Tif Nielan. You can either send me the receipt, or you can send an email saying, I need the scholarship, I can't afford the pattern, and we will get you a copy of the pattern to your Ravelry, or if Tif offers them on her website, we'll pay her, and she can send it how she sends it through her website. But we will take care of that. We'll get you the pattern if for some reason you can't afford to pay it, and but you do have to have the pattern. So far I have 6 people who have sent me their receipt, and I'm excited. I'm excited. At least a couple of them are making their first sweater, and I'm very, very excited for that. And just so you know, we're not just going to go over a sweater, but ensuring that you're making a sweater that fits you best. So we're going to go over how to make sure the neckline is how you want your neckline, how to make sure that it fits you in the shoulders, how to make sure that it fits here, but also how to make sure it fits here, how to make sure it's not too big but also not too small, how to adjust as you're in the middle of knitting so that you can make those adjustments for best fit. We're going to go through all of that in the Zooms. You're not on your own. And that's pretty much all I have. Our email is a visit with Nana and Papa at gmail.com.
Yep.
So you can email. A lot of people have just been messaging me on Instagram, which you can. My Instagram is Creations by Valerie. His Instagram is Fishing Cowboy. So you can even message one of us there.
FSHN. COWBOY. No, not Fishing Cowboy. It's fishing. No
vowels.
No eyes.
In the fishing.
Once upon a time, somebody read that and thought it was Fashion Cowboy. And I said, y'all ain't never seen me dress, have you? It's not fashion. Everybody's dress is a fashion statement. I'm old. My fashion statement is, I don't care.
My fashion statement is, I want to be comfy.
That's a good statement. Now, this is 2 things. Y'all been seeing me, my drink. This is my drink. And my drink is addictive. I'm going to tell you that right up front. It's addictive. But it's okay because it's tea. It's got 2 different teas in it. Once upon a time, a couple years ago, I bought some tea to try. And my wife and I had that tea. And she's not a real big tea drinker because she was exposed to Lipton tea in her youth. And apparently that tarnished her taste buds on tea. But as an adult, she has branched out and tried things and found out that not all teas are Lipton. Not all true. Lipton is tea. But we got some tea from Ahmad that was a what is that?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
It's the one that you like. I bought some. You said, "Oh, I really like this." I bought a big tin of it.
Oh, yeah,
First one you had out of it, you said,
"That was so good."
I'm not so sure I like this. I have a tin. I'm talking. I have a pound of this cardamom tea.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure I like this. And I was going to send it back after that first pot. She said, "Oh, I like this." Don't send it back. I like this. I didn't send it back. I didn't make any for a while because I'm not a fan. And when I made the next one, like, I don't know if I really like this. Now, you don't even go there. I couldn't send this back because, I like this. But now I have this pound of cardamom tea that I don't dislike it. It's just, But when I have my masala chai, I prefer a little more cardamom in my masala chai than what I get. I get my masala chai from Vadham, awesome tea company out of India. Owners are the people who pick and sell the tea. It's really a great company. Check them out. Vadham. But I get my masala chai, spiced tea. That's what masala chai is. Anybody that says they want chai tea is saying they want tea. Because chai is Indian for tea. Okay. Anyway, I get my masala chai from Vadham. But I want just a little bit more cardamom than what they give me. So I use 2 scoops of masala chai and 1 scoop of Ahmad's cardamom tea, and I put those 3 scoops together and I make a gallon of iced tea. And you let that bugger sit. Put hot water on it, let it steep in the hot water, then forget about it until tomorrow. And then when you take that and you pour that into your gallon jug through a strainer, it doesn't need sugar. I still put some in it, but it doesn't need sugar. And I have to quit putting it in it because she likes it as well, but she don't want no sugar in it.
Well, and you might feel better if you ceased. It might reduce your problems with your neuropathy if you gave up the sugar.
I'm telling you right now, masala chai makes an awesome, excellent iced tea. It does not have to be hot to be good. It can be cold and still be a delicious, refreshing iced tea. Now, my other thing, it's time for me to renew my Walmart Plus. And what I thought I would share with you is...
Add. We are not getting paid for this.
We're not getting paid for this from Walmart.
It's not a, yeah.
But, I wish I got paid for it by Walmart, but I tell people about this all the time because this is an absolutely excellent deal. Walmart Plus costs $98 for a year. Okay, flat out, $98. Part of your Walmart Plus is a free subscription to Paramount Plus. If you went and paid for that Paramount Plus, you would either pay $5.99 a month or $59.99 for a year. You get it free. So you can just knock $60 off from that $98. That leaves you with $38 to make up, right? Out of that $38 you need to make up, if you like to read books, you can get a membership with Scribd. And you get a discounted membership with Scribd. Scribd is $11.99 a month, $144 a year. Unless you get it through Walmart, and then it's $85 a year. That is another $59 in saving. You had a $28 thing, and you just saved another $59. You're $21 ahead. Plus, you get free shipping on anything you order from Walmart. Plus, if you order your groceries from Walmart, you order more than $35 in groceries, they will deliver them for free. We just ordered 2 big things of water because with my back and her legs, we don't do so hot carrying 5-gallon bottles of water up the stairs. By having it delivered, somebody that's young and healthy carries my water up the stairs and leaves it on the porch for me. I'm okay with that. Thank you. Free grocery delivery on orders over $35. Anything that isn't perishable, you can just say you want to have it shipped and they're going to bring it anyway. Because they're not going to pay FedEx $20 to bring you a $2 bag of chips. You also get Pluto TV for free, ad-free. You can't get Pluto TV ad-free without doing it through Walmart or doing it through one of the phone companies. Otherwise, you are going to have ads on your Pluto TV. But Pluto TV is live TV. So if you want to see your local stations live and you don't have cable, Pluto TV is free, but you have to watch ads. Unless you get it through Walmart, then you get it ad-free. And if you know anybody that is on government assistance like WIC, low income, Medicaid, if they have a government assisted program, Walmart Plus offers them Walmart Plus at 50% off. No restrictions, no reductions in what they get from Walmart Plus. They just get Walmart Plus at 50% off. Also, if you have a car and you drive, you get 10 cents a gallon off at Walmart gas stations. Or You can go to Sam's Club and buy gas at Sam's Club without having a Sam's Club membership. Figure if you spend $25 a month on gas, that's $2.50 a month. 250 times 12, like about 30 bucks. Add all the things you get for $98 and you have got way more benefits than the $98 before you go with your free shipping and your free delivery. According to Walmart, I have saved $240 in shipping in the last year. I have saved $149 in grocery delivery in the last year. I can't tell you enough. This is an excellent program, especially if you don't drive or you don't want to drive. And in this heat, I don't want to drive. When the weather is nasty out and you don't want to have to take a chance of getting into a car wreck just to go get groceries, you can stay home and have it delivered. Tip the people who are delivering you because they are doing you a service. Tip them. But still, it is an excellent program. And Valerie will add a thing at the bottom. If you use my referral, I will get $20 in free groceries, and you will get $20 in free groceries. If you sign up and get your $20 in free groceries and say, wow, this is a good deal, you're going to have your own referral code, and you can give that referral code to all of your friends and neighbors and family and say, hey, I've done this. This is a good deal. Check this out. Give them your referral code. Every one of them that joins Walmart Plus will get you $20 in free groceries and get them $20 in free groceries. $20 in free groceries is $20 that you didn't have to spend on groceries. You can get a lot of groceries at Walmart for $20. Just saying. That's all I got. I'm not a Walmart representative. I don't work for Walmart. But when I know a good deal, I try and share it. I actually have a little piece of paper I printed out because when I meet people on the street, when I'm shopping at other stores besides, and sometimes Walmart, you got Walmart Plus? When I'm filling up with gas at Walmart, hey, you got Walmart Plus? Huh? And then I will tell them about Walmart Plus, and I will hand them a piece of paper, and you never know. They may go ahead and get Walmart Plus and use my referral code, and we'll get $20 in free groceries. Or they may not.
Oh, but you also, he makes it sound like he does this only because if he's getting free groceries. No. No. We have a place here called Twice the Ice. There's multiple locations in the Austin area of Twice the Ice.
You might have somewhere you live.
And when it is filtered ice and filtered water, and it is serve yourself, but you can get 5 gallons of water in a 5-gallon jug for $1 instead of the crazy expensive amount that you would pay at Walmart or the grocery store or whatever, or having it delivered. It's just $1. And if you want a bag of ice, I can't remember, but I know
think it's up
not,
to $2.50 now.
It's definitely not the same price as what you're seeing
It's $2.50 for a 16-pound bag of ice, or if you're just dumping your ice in your cooler, save the plastic bag, stick your cooler underneath a chute, and they will give you 20 pounds of ice in the place of a bag. Yeah. If you just get bulk ice, it'll boom, shoot out 20 pounds of broken ice.
And so when he will tell anyway, he sees somebody buying a 5-gallon, hey, you do know you can refill that over at Twice the Ice for only $1. He will tell them if they're in the grocery store and they picking something up off the shelf that he knows that 2 stores over has it on sale, he will interrupt them and say, just so you know, so-and-so has this on sale. So just so you know.
And if I see you buying ice, I will say, just so you know, it's right down the street from here, like a half a mile or so down the street from here, you can get, you got that 7-pound bag of ice right there. That 7-pound bag of ice is $3.50. You drive down the road and you can get a 16-pound bag of ice for $2.50. Just saying, you don't have to go there.
But he will.
But you
or
can. And I don't get paid by twice the ice either.
By anybody. But he will also, when he's in the grocery store, if you put something in your cart, our local grocery store that we like to go to is called HEB. And it's just HEB. It used to be Henry E. Butts or something
Banks.
like that. Banks.
Butts, Banks, I don't know.
Something. Anyway. But it's called HEB, and it's a really good grocery store. But one of the things that they do is they have coupons that are this week's promotion, that if you buy this and this, then you get all these things. Or if you just buy this, you get all these things free. So if he sees someone buying one of those things that comes with all these other things free, he'll say, hey, you do know that that's on special this week, and if you're buying it, you can go get that coupon and you can get that. Or if they're shopping and he knows they've got something in their cart that if they just have the app, there's a coupon on the app, he'll tell them, by the way, if you use the app has that on sale. So, yeah, he will tell anybody anywhere if there is a good deal.
You make that sound like that's a bad thing. I am being kind and helpful.
I'm not. I'm not implying that it's mean. It's just you came off as though you were here. I'm selling all this stuff to you.
I'm not selling anything.
No. But it sounded like from the person hearing, wow, man, he's pushing this. He's really trying to sell this. And then you're like, and there'll be this code that you can use. So if you use it, I'll get $20 because you're selling it. So you can get your $20 of free food. I just wanted them to know that no, this is just...
That's me. I try and help people. I don't help people who are not snobby. I don't help people who are rude. I don't help people who are mean. But if you are nice and kind, then I am nice and kind back. And if you smile, I will stop what I am doing and say,
thank you.
Damn, that is a beautiful smile. Thank you for sharing it with me. Because you know how much that cost me? Nothing. But you know how happy that makes people? Try it. You'll find out. It doesn't cost you anything to compliment somebody. If you see their hair and you say, wow, your hair looks great. This person could have been having a crap-ass day, and your simple comment, wow, your hair looks great, made their day 100% better than it was 30 seconds before they met you.
Yeah, he does quite often. Also will, if I'm not there, he will tell people, man, my wife would love your hair. And then he finds me. You got to see this person. You got to see their hair. Look, isn't it beautiful? Yep, that's my kind of hair. And usually the person has hair that they have dyed some form of rainbow.
Some color.
It makes me happy.
But you see a little girl wearing braces and glasses, take 10 seconds out of your time to tell her she's beautiful, because God knows how many times she's been told she's not at school. Because kids are mean. Straight up.
True.
And that little girl has been picked on. Guaranteed you. I would bet you any amount of money you want to bet that when she goes to school, somebody calls her tinsel teeth, or somebody calls her four eyes, or somebody calls her something mean. Don't cost you anything to look at that little girl and say, look at you. That is just a beautiful smile. Thank you for smiling at me. You will see warmth and love bubble up inside of a face that's been crushed by assholes. Try it. You want to feel good about something for the day? Go out and compliment somebody. Rubs off on you.
It does. Being kind works. It's nice.
Be kind. Doesn't cost you anything.
So, that's all I have for knitting.
That's all I have.
And we'll be back next week. But there might be something in between. There quite often is.
Well, I've been invited to go down and shoot a video at the Illusion Museum here in Austin.
I'm hoping that the weather will be not so hot, so that you can go down and come back, and it won't be I mean, because going all the way downtown in this heat during
Yep.
the week, it's just a lot.
Yep.
And I realized for most of y'all driving in the heat, you're like, so it's hot outside. You get in the car and turn the air conditioner on. We don't have air conditioning in our car. And it's when it's been 101 to 100. Currently, it is 105 degrees and it is 6:15 at night.
Yep.
So that's been our weather, and so
Consistent
not-
with our weather.
I'm not jumping up or getting excited about you heading into town
Ooh.
during the week in the crazy traffic.
I just looking at the time going, I'm hungry. I gotta tell y'all one little before to go. Pinsy's Spice. Check them out. They're online.
They're a great company.
They are a fantastic company. I love them, and when they have specials, I usually buy something that when they're on special, because I don't buy large amounts of spice anymore. I just buy a little bit because you buy your spice at Sam's Club. By the time you finish that spice, if you don't own a restaurant, you're just putting powder in your shit. Because that spice is so old and degraded that it's no longer a spice. It's just yellow dust. Buy your spices fresh.
If you can.
Buy small amounts.
If you can.
If you can. It's pretty common anymore. But
I'm just saying.
Pinsy's has a Greek spice. And it comes in a little packet. I made myself some shrimp and pasta for supper last night with olive oil. I'm thinking I'm going to go make myself some shrimp and pasta with olive oil and that Pinsy's Greek spice on it again, because I will tell you what, that was some tasty, tasty supper. All you got to do is boil your pasta. If you want to, you can sprinkle it a little bit in there and let it boil. Or you can just take a whole clove of garlic, crush it with your knife, drop that in your boiling water, and let that boiling water take your garlic and put the garlic into your pasta. Yum. And then you take your shrimp and you cut your shrimp into bite-sized pieces and you marinate it with oil and Pinsy spices, and then you fry that in a frying pan. And when your pasta is done, you scoop out and strain out your pasta, shake it off, and then dump that down in there with your pasta, with your shrimps. Add a little bit more olive oil, add a little bit more seasoning, and stir that around. Cook that up and eat. Oh, it's so good. It's very good. I think you had a sample, didn't you? Didn't you take a bite of that?
Mm-mm. No, I had my pasta. I had.
Yeah, I shared. I made enough pasta that she could have pasta with what she put pasta, and I had my pasta with mine. But I'm thinking.
I sprayed mine with some avocado oil
and Italian dressing.
Italian seasoning.
We get our seasonings fresh from HEB, because you can buy it by the ounce, and you open it up and it's wow.
Yeah.
It is so fresh
good.
and so good that when I run out,
from a local farmer too.
There's an HEB right down the road. I will bet you they probably have some of that spice in stock. And it's going to be fresh, it's going to be yummy, and it's not going to be stale, and it's not going to be old. And if your spice don't look like it looked when you bought it, then it ain't going to taste like it looked when you bought it. Fact. Let them go. I'm done.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Mama.
Mom.
I love you.